Welcome back, Star Wars fans, to episode 122 of Reynolds Reviews. And on today's episode, we're going to take a look at Wave 2 of the Mandalorian Retro Collection. Cue the march. Welcome back, everyone. Now, like I said in the intro, today we're going to take a look at Wave 2 of the Mandalorian Retro Collection. Now, I've been waiting for these for quite a while. I think I pre-ordered these around November last year. I think they were due in February. We're almost in May and they've only just arrived this week. So I'm very excited to get into these. I'm behind everyone else has sort of done their videos already. I know a few people got them early. I've only just got mine this week, so we are going to take a look at them today. Now, I'm not an opener, so we are going to look at these in the packaging. We're not going to look at these loose, so I apologise if you're hoping to see them loose. I generally keep my retro collection in the packaging. So today we're going to get that box opened, get them in front of some lights and take a closer look. Okay, so this week we're going to start with Boba Fett. Now that may surprise some people because I often leave him till the last. The reason why I'm starting with him is because we've kind of already seen him. I picked this guy up at Echo a few weeks ago, so I'll just show this guy first because you've already seen him in a previous video. But again, I've got to admit, I absolutely love this second wave of Mandalorian Retro Collection figures. I mean, let's just take a closer look. Now, I think that card back image is amazing. I've got to admit, that is probably one of my favourite images that I've seen yet on the Retro Collection Mandalorian figures. I mean, the Retro Collection in general, I know previous images are the vintage images, but what a great picture that is. I love all the greenery behind him, and I just think that is an amazing image of Boba Fett. Again, as you can see in the bubble, you've got his EE3 blaster as well as his blaster pistol. And I just think that works perfectly with the vintage figures. I'm not always a fan of the new robes that they've put him in, especially in the Black Series figures, but I do think it works really well in the vintage style. Let's just take a quick look at the back. Now, we're only going to look at the back of this one because they're all the same. We've got all the legal jargon, no pictures unfortunately. I've said before, you know, we get the legal stuff on the back of the card now as well as on the piece of paper in the bottom, and I always say that we don't need it twice, but I guess Hasbro will say that, you know, it needs to be on the envelope inside as well as the back of the packaging for people that don't open their figures. Now, if you open your figure and you get the leaflet, then you can read it, but obviously if you're not an opener like me when it comes to retro collection, then I guess the legal stuff needs to be somewhere visible as well. So, but yeah, fantastic figure, love that one. Okay, so let's move on to the Armourer, and another fantastic figure. This is actually the only Armourer figure that I've got in my collection. I really do like the fact that they've included it in this retro wave. Image is awesome. A little bit dark maybe, just sort of around where the fur is on her shoulders. Maybe that could have been a little bit brighter. I think I've probably been super critical there, but let's just take a closer look. Yeah, I mean, it is quite dark, but I guess she was always working in sort of darkness, wasn't she, when she was forging the weapons and the armour and things. Well, that's a great figure. And I love the fact, I think, it looks like, somebody can correct me in the comments because I can't quite tell, but have they made the fur around her shoulders soft goods there? Looks like it. Yeah, I just think that's a great figure, and the helmet is lovely. Our forging tools there, so we've got the hammer, and then, would you call them tongs? It seems a little bit of an oversimplification for those, but yeah, again, wonderful figure, and I think that will fit in perfectly with the vintage figures. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to show you the back because they're all the same, but yeah, really pleased with that figure. Looks fantastic, and I think this wave 2 of the Mandalorian retro figures. They've really outdone themselves with the character choices as well as the sculpts and the cards. I just think they look great. Again, I know we're all moaning about the card stock. They're not very thick. I mean, at the end of the day, these are £10 figures. So how thick a card do we want? You know, for a £10 figure, then I think we've just got to be happy with that. You know, in a time where we're all complaining about rising action figure prices, these are £10 figures. I think we've got to accept that the card is a bit thin, but yeah, love the armourer and really pleased to get one in my collection. Okay, let's move on to Bo-Katan, everyone. Just before we carry on, let me just apologise for the light glaring on the card on this one. Because the card's curved, it's bent slightly. Again, that's that thin card I was just talking about. The lights are now just glaring, so I apologise for that. But again, the first Bo-Katan figure that I've got in my collection, and I think they've done a wonderful job of this one as well. Let's just take a closer look. So, I mean, look at that image. I don't know really much about Bo-Katan. I didn't know much about her before she came into Mandalorian. I've not watched again. I know everyone's going to scream at me. I've still not managed to find the time to watch the animated shows, so don't know a huge amount about Bo-Katan and her backstory, but what a great figure that is. Twin blasters. Wow, and that helmet looks amazing. I'm still undecided whether to pre-order the Black Series Bo-Katan helmet. I was about to do it, and then I sort of didn't, and then I did, and then I've sort of cancelled it again. And I think it's because I don't feel I've got a connection to the character. But what a wonderful helmet. Great figure. And again, really pleased to get it into my collection. But I've got to get the animated stuff watched. I've not watched anything of Rebels or Clone Wars. Everyone tells me that sort of all skipped the first season of Clone Wars, but yeah, I really do need to watch it and just get a little bit more up to date with Bo-Katan. But what a great figure. Great image on the card. Fantastic figure sculpt. I'm really pleased to get that one into my collection.
I am Bo-Katan of Clan Kryze. I was born on Mandalore and fought in the Purge. I am the last of my line.
Okay, so moving on to Ahsoka Tano. Now again, amazing figure. Lovely card image, but again another figure that I'm not massively up on as a character. You know, I don't know a huge amount about Ahsoka, again because I don't watch the animated stuff, so my knowledge about her and her backstory and background is very, very limited. But I know that a lot of people love this character, and everyone went crazy when we saw Rosario Dawson in The Mandalorian. I mean, what a great job she did as well, and looks just like her. And I know, you know, obviously she's got the makeup on and the outfit, etc., but I still think just perfect casting. Let's just take a look at this. So again, great image on the front, probably a little bit CGI this one. I mean, you can tell obviously, you know, with the pose and everything, it's not an image pulled from the Mandalorian, but what a great figure. Obviously twin lightsabers, in very much in the Kenner style, but yeah, really pleased to get this one. Again, my very first Ahsoka Tano figure as well. But yeah, what an amazing image that is. And again, great figure, and really, really pleased. Now, at first, I was a little bit upset, obviously, when we got the Mandalorian figures instead of Return of the Jedi. Now, I understand Kenner are now probably waiting for next year so they can release the Retro Collection Jedi figures with the 40th anniversary of the movie. But at first, I was really upset. I thought, how can you have modern or sort of modern characters in a vintage style? The whole point of Retro Collection was to celebrate the vintage 96 figures. However, I've done a real U-turn since they've been bringing these out, because I do think they're fantastic and they will fit perfectly into my collection. So yeah, Ahsoka Tano, really pleased to get this one. And now we move on to the Death Trooper, and look at that for a figure. Now, I think Troopers in any sort of form works really well in the vintage style. So whether it be, you know, Stormtroopers, Death Troopers, attack drivers, etc., I just think they all lend themselves perfectly to a vintage style, and this one is no exception. I mean, look at that. Not easy to actually film because it's black, but that image is amazing. I love the fact that they've got the green name pill and the green background. I think it works really well, considering if you can just see, you've got that bit of green detailing on the helmet, green eye lenses, and the aerators, or what you call them, mic tips. But absolutely awesome figure. And I associate the Death Troopers more with Rogue One really than I do the Mandalorian, but I'm certainly not complaining that they've included it. Fantastic image on the card. Like I said, quite difficult to get any detail. If we do it that way, look, you can see a bit of detail on the figure. Got the rifle in there as well. But I love Death Troopers. And very, very jealous of my good friend Paul over at Paul's Collectibles, because he's got a Death Trooper 1.1 scale helmet, which I'm desperate to get. Very difficult to find a good one though from a reputable company. Obviously Anavos, extremely expensive, and they're not around anymore. That's where Paul got his from, but I would absolutely love to get a 1.1 scale Death Trooper helmet into my collection. But the search continues. But what a figure. Yeah, amazing addition to the retro collection. I'm very glad to pick that one up. And last but certainly in no way least, we've got the Mandalorian himself. Now obviously we've had the Mandalorian before in the retro collection, but we've now got him in his Beskar armour. So again, fantastic figure. Again, I think it lends itself perfectly to the vintage style. Great image on the card, but a bit dark again maybe. Again, maybe I'm being uber critical, but yeah, what a great figure. And the silver works really well of the Beskar. Got his rifle in there and his blaster pistol. I think the orange works really well in the name pin in the background. I always think they do a really good job of picking the colours to go behind these figures. I always think they really make good choices. A lot of the time, like with the Stormtroopers, the red always makes them pop. I thought the green for the Death Trooper was brilliant, but yeah, amazing figure. And so much detail, even still in the vintage style, and I think it works well. I don't think it looks too much. Again, I think he'll fit in perfectly with the vintage figures. Obviously, I've not addressed it. We've got the big retro stickers still. I don't think they'll ever get rid of those, because obviously, even though we've got the weathering around the card, which basically tells us these are retro collection, they're not original. Obviously, you can't get these mixed up on the Mandalorian wave. I don't really see why we need that sticker, because, you know, we never got these figures in the vintage line. So, I mean, really, in the Mandalorian retro collection, they could have got rid of the sticker and the weathering, because obviously you're not in any danger of these being passed off as original, because we never had them. So, but again, I'm being uber critical. I'm going to leave the stickers on this line as well. I removed the retro stickers from my Star Wars line because I really didn't like them, but they don't offend me as much as they used to, so I'm probably going to leave them on now. And I believe they're a bit harder to get off now and remove without damaging the card, so I'm going to leave them. But yeah, amazing figure. Really pleased to get the Beskar version. And for me, just what a fantastic lineup for the Wave 2. I think that this figure selection, or the character selection, has been perfect. I think the images they've used are great. Yeah, I think they've really outdone themselves on this one. I know the retro collection is not for everyone, but for me, for £10 figures, I think you've just got to enjoy them for what they are. So yeah, really pleased to get these in my collection. And there we go, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that. Apologies if you came to this video hoping to see them out of the packaging. Like I said, I generally don't take my retro collection out, so I apologise if you came to see them loose. Again, if I get them again, I may then look at them loose, but when I've only got them once, I generally keep them in the packaging. I may unpack Boba Fett, because I've already got him, but we'll see. He may find his way loose onto the Boba Fett shelf. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, if you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. You know, I really appreciate you giving me a shot. I hope you'll consider leaving a like and subscribing. If you're one of my existing viewers and existing subscribers, again, I know I say it every week, but I really do appreciate every single one of you. Leave any comments or questions in the comment section below. I always try to read everyone's comments and reply to everybody. And as always, keep collecting. I'll see you next time.